Hello, 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 hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Hello, hello. It is another Thursday evening, and guess what? Champs is in the air. It is all about boys and girls champs, and we're excited to be here tonight. And of course, on Monday night, Kingston College was in the building. Yeah, if you were here with us Monday night, Kingston College was in the building, and tonight it will be about Calabar and Hydel. Of course, my guest is running a little bit late, but I decided to start just the same and not to have you guys waiting. So I decided to come and start and just chat with you guys a little bit. But Coach Corey Bennett, he's running a little bit late. He's just leaving training. And of course, you guys know they're trying to do their final preparations for CHAMPS, which is coming up next week. So next week, this time, we would have been in day 3 of Boys and Girls CHAMPS. And for those of you who are not Jamaican and you're not familiar with what we call CHAMPS, it is the Jamaica High School Track and Field Championship for boys and for girls. So welcome each and everyone. Thank you for being here. It is another Thursday. Welcome anywhere you're tuning in from, whether you're coming from Europe, from Africa, from Asia, from Antarctica, from Oceanic, North America, South America. Did I leave out any continent? All 7 continents. Welcome. And I want to also welcome, a special welcome to Trinidad and Tobago, who is also in the house. Welcome, guys. If you want me to see your comments, please to come over on YouTube. Of course, tonight, as I said before, I'm repping for Calabar and Hydel with Coach Bennett, Corey Bennett. And of course, as I said before, Monday night, I was here with Fortis. I was here with Richard Bowen from the Fortis family, and we had a wonderful time. We had a great time. So, guys, don't go anywhere. Just stay right there. I will be right back. And as I said before, my guest tonight is running a little late, but guess what? We are going to do a little chance quiz. I'm going to ask you the question and you're going to shoot me the answers. Or if you want to call in and chat with me a little bit before Mr. Bennett arrives, then there's a number running on the screen that you can dial on WhatsApp. The 240 number, you can call that number and I'll see if I can channel you in and we can talk a little bit. But don't go anywhere. Stay right there. I'll be right back.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple: to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business. Jamaica. One people, one legacy.
Get up on, no, don't stop. Future bright, the vibes nice.
And I am back. Yes, I am back. Someone is wrote in the comment section, one track hero. Welcome. He's saying Corey Bennett are the guest. Yes, it is none other than one of Jamaica's top high school coaches, Mr. Corey Bennett. He will be in the house. And as I said before, he's running a little late because of training and final preparation. But he will be here. He promised me that he will be here. My friend from Trinidad and Tobago, just roll in. Welcome, welcome each and everyone. Akia, welcome, welcome. I keep messing up her name, and thank God she's my friend. I'm forgiven immediately. But our neighbor, Trinidad and Tobago, is already in the building. One Track Hero, welcome, welcome, and thank you very much. And guys, as I said before, I did not want to have you waiting, so I decided to start on time. And of course, we're going to play a little game. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to shoot me the answer. If I don't get the answer within 5 seconds, I'm going to tell you what the answer is. Okay, my first question, while we wait on Coach Corey Bennett for Hydel, technical director, head coach for Hydel High School and Calabar. So I'm repping Hydel tonight and Calabar. Monday night I was repping for Fortis, Kingston College, and of course Saturday night I will be repping for Titchfield, the school on the hill from Portland. So the schools are rolling out, the coaches are rolling out to have a chat and just to relax and talk about their program and let us in a little bit. And let me tell you, Fortis did that on Monday night, and we really learned a lot about Kingston College. So here goes for my first question. In which year was the first official boys champs held? In which year was the first official boys champs held? Now, if I don't get the answer in 30 seconds, I'm going to move on and tell you what it is. In which year was the first official boys champs held? Good night, Dorothy Scott, genius, 1980 and 1984 Olympian for Jamaica. She's saying hello, everyone, and welcome to our Trini neighbor. I have a friend from Trinidad and Tobago. He is totally against us saying Trinidad. He wants us to say Trinidad and Tobago because he's from Tobago. So he wants us to get it right. So good night to Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, the answer is 1910. The first boys champs, official boys champs, was held in 1910. My next question to you is, what is the name of the prestigious trophy that is awarded to the champion schools at the boys and girls champs? What is the name of the prestigious award that is trophy that is awarded to the winning boys and winning school? Of course, Akia is saying 1910. You are indeed correct. The name of the trophy is Mortimer Geddes Trophy. That's the name of the trophy. My next question is, which school has won the most girls championship titles in the history of girls champs or champs? Which school has won the most title on the girls side at champs? I've said this over and over, so come on guys, you should know who it is by now. 30 seconds. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, the name of the school is none other than Very Technical out of Clarendon, Hayes, Clarendon. Thank you very much, Ethelyn Tate, for giving us that answer. Ethelyn Tate, 1988 Olympian for Jamaica also. And Dorothy Scott is saying Very Technical. Okay. My next question is, how many titles has Very Technical won at champs? How many titles has Very Technical won at girls champs? How many titles? How many times Very Technical won girls champs? Ding, 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 ding. 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds. I've said this over and over on my show. 21 is indeed correct, Dorothy. Vera has won girls champs 21 times, a whopping 21 times. Where was the first boys champs held? The first official boys champs, where was it held? Where in Jamaica was the first boys champs held? I'm going to give you guys a hint. Okay, Sabina Park is correct. Thank you very much for that one track hero. It was actually at Sabina Park. So yes, guys, Champs was held at Sabina Park in the early days before, of course, before many of us were born. Next question is Karen Stewart, Michelle Freeman, and Delarine Ennis London attends which high school? Let me go again. Karen Stewart, Michelle Freeman, and Delarine Ennis London are past students of which high school? This one is easy, guys. I've said this one over and over. Karen Stewart, St. Jago is correct. Thank you very much for that one track hero and Dorothy Scott. It is indeed St. Jago. Elva Goldburn won triple gold medal at Champs 1998 for which high school? Elva Goldburn won triple gold medal at Champs 1998 for which school? Good night. Welcome, JJR. JJR is just joining us. One Kino is also just joining us. Of course, again, guys, while I'm waiting on my guest, Mr. Corey Bennett, we're just having a little fun. I'm just refreshing you guys, refreshing your memory about our legacy and what we have done and what the schools in particular have done. So Elva Goldburn won triple gold medal 1998 for which school? Dintil, indeed. Thank you for that, JJR. Dintil Technical High School, indeed. Which school won the first high school girls track and field championship? Which school won the first girls champs? Which school won the first girls champs? Come on, guys. I've been saying this too. I've said this before. Which school won the first girls champs? St. Hilda's is correct. Thank you very much for that, Kino. St. Hilda's from St. Anne. Is it St. Anne? Is it St. Anne or Trelawney? I think St. Hilda's is in St. Anne. They won the first girls' champ. Dorothy St. Manning's. No, Dorothy, I'm sorry. It's not the Manning School. It is actually St. Hilda's. St. Hilda's. My next question is, which athlete is the first to break the sub 10 barrier at boys champs? Which athlete is the first to break the sub 10 barrier at boys champs? This one is easy. This one was just like a few years ago, 2-3 years ago, not so long ago. Which Nkrumah is right? And this is Buwaji Nkrumah, formerly of Kingston College, in a time of 9.99 seconds. Okay, let's go. My next question is, name one co-ed school that won both boys champs and girls champs. Name me one co-ed school that won boys champs and won girls champs. Name me one co-ed school, boys champs and girls champs. And the answer is St. Jago is correct. So it is actually St. Jago and Excelsior. And guys, this is where we end our quiz, because guess what? My guest is here. Mr. Corey Bennett is here. Good evening, Coach. How are you? How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. I apologize for being late. I'm very sorry.
Some fun while we wait on you. I was just refreshing the audience, memory about some of our wonderful achievements in chance. But Coach, welcome. Good evening. How are you? How was your day?
Hectic. Um, it's getting closer. It should
Mm-hmm.
be getting a lot easier, but it's getting a little harder. But yeah, my duties are finished for the day.
Wow.
So it's been a long day.
I can just imagine. Welcome to the Champ Hype Zone on HP Chat Track. And Coach, it is a pleasure to have you here tonight. It is actually your second appearance on this
Yeah.
program, and I thank you very much. Welcome back. Welcome back, sir.
Again,
But
thanks for having me.
anytime, anytime. Let us start with Calabar first. You are the head coach for Calabar High School and Hydel. Of course, I'm repping for both schools. On Monday night, we had Kingston College in the building. Fortis was in the building, and I was in my purple. So tonight, I'm repping former champion Calabar and Hydel. How are preparations going on the boys' side for Calabar in terms of everything that you have to do? Just give us a little idea how hectic your days are, how the preparations are going.
Well, I mean, in terms of Calabar, I mean, it has been going as well as can be. Just like any other program that you're trying to develop for the better part of probably 6 months. We do have some challenges. Um, it's been going well. I mean, we experienced some difficulties along the way in terms of just from an athlete perspective, where we do have some injuries, we do have some niggles. But all in all, I think the boys are in good spirits and kind of raring to go next week.
Good. I like that. Nicoy Bromwell, he had a little accident at the Gibson McCook relay. Is there any concern? Should we be worrying or is he okay?
I mean, he's fine. He's fine.
Okay.
Nicoy looked pretty good in training today, but we're going to make a decision based on Nicoy. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So, but he looked pretty good in training today.
okay.
Yeah.
So is there, I don't want you to give away a secret, but is there a case where it's iffy that we might see him, we might not see him?
I think there's a bit of both, but we're just trying to make a decision in the best interest again of Nicoy. So,
Indeed.
we really don't want the team to be focused only on Nicoy, to be honest. And I think
Mm-hmm.
things that can be a distraction. But I think if Nicoy is fit and ready to go, he will go, and if not, then he will not go. But this has to be a decision based on what I think is best for Nicoy.
Indeed, indeed. We have to protect them,
Right.
we have to protect them. It's not just about champs,
Right.
but their career going forward. Calabar is the second winningest champ school, and with 28 titles, how do you feel leading this team into another championship?
Um, I've gotten the opportunity now in my third year to watch this team kind of grow and blossom, kind of into what I would or we would like them to look like. The boys are a lot more focused now in this whole, um, I guess, rejuvenation, rebirthing of the team somewhat. Um, I think they're bought into what I've tried to get them to do and understand. Um, and yeah, I think we're a lot better in 2025 than we were in 2023 and definitely 2024. So as to what that will result in, I can't say today, but I think we're a lot better as young men and as a school. And I think it's very important for me. And I know, obviously, we're in it to win it somewhat, but there's some bigger pictures. And I think Calabar have some wonderful young men who are ready to take on the world at some point, and hopefully these boys will have blossomed into world beaters for the country, for Jamaica. And I think that we just have to maintain looking at the bigger picture for these young men. And I think their lives and their livelihood has to be mattered in all of our decision making. So, but I think we're much better than we were before. The discipline is a lot better, and I'm really happy for that. Um, and the support that has been given to the program has been overwhelming. We don't necessarily have the resources to fly overseas and get persons, but I think we're doing a good job for what we have out here locally,
Yeah.
and I think that boys who have stuck with what we've tried to get them to do has been doing a great job, and we applaud them for that.
And I hope they take comfort in knowing that I did some research recently and it was presented last week on my show. The schools with the most Olympian, and Calabar is actually the number one school with the most Olympians on the boys' side. So, indeed, they are doing a pretty good job. You guys are doing a pretty good job, and they're also transitioning in the sport and becoming world beaters for country. But I'm glad you just mentioned something there that I'm going to take the opportunity to touch on now. What are your take on, and you don't have to give everything away, but what is your take on international students?
I mean, that's a kind of open-ended statement. I mean,
Yes,
I mean,
I know.
international students are great for schooling in Jamaica. I think the opportunity should. I mean, we have a product here in Jamaica that is embedded across the world. Um, but I don't believe that, and I'm just being very probably patriotic to Jamaica. I mean, I don't believe that we should be pushing aside our local young men and women, at the expense of international competitors or competition. I'm all for it. I mean, when it gets a little vulgar, then I have an issue with it. I still believe that the data has not been proven that some of the international recruitment is actually helping the sport locally. And I think we should do something to the benefit of Jamaica. Um,
Indeed.
I'm all for just the show, but at the end of the day, we are sidelining a local young man or woman from being
How,
developed in
yes.
that event, and that's where I have an issue with. Yeah.
Jamaica started out, our first medal at the Olympic Games 1948 was in the quarter mile and the middle distance with Mr. Arthur Wint, also formerly of Calabar and Excelsior. How much is this? Do you think we are overdoing it with the middle and long distance athletes recruitment?
Yeah, let me just blatantly say yes, we're overdoing it. I mean, to bring a first farmer here, basically you're telling all the boys who are at primary school that you don't have a chance. At least you don't have one spot. you know, um, and again, just my perspective that I'm really giving. That I just believe that if I had a son going to Calabar, he should stand a realistic chance of representing the school, especially if he passed for the school, or if he was brought up in our system to represent Jamaica eventually. I'm just not a, I'm not a supporter of um, giving away this local championship to foreigners. I'm not into that.
How
And I
much
just,
how much is it hurting us, or how much will it hurt us in the long run?
I mean, that's a question I really can't answer, but I just from where I sit, I believe that um, if we're going to develop local talent, um, we have great middle eastern coaches here, and most of the schools who are probably involved with this kind of recruitment have very good middle eastern coaches, and I think they are quite aware that we do have local talents who can probably match or outdo some of these international students. Yes, it's probably going to be harder with the new allegations surrounding some of these international recruitment. We have to be
Mhm.
careful. But that being said, I mean, I just think that a young man entering high school or a young lady entering high school should stand a realistic chance of representing that school and not grow up from first one to grade 13 knowing that it's one spot gone and probably two spots gone. I think most of these schools and these coaches that I know personally are excellent coaches, especially at the events that which they're mostly recruited. But That's just my take on it. I mean, and those persons will never represent Jamaica. It's not like
Indeed.
it's doing us a favor somewhat, but we have to
And
be careful what we do to go beyond just to get some points and stuff like that. But what is the end game of it
indeed,
all? What's the end
indeed.
game?
And it has, to me, I would say it has been proven that we can nurture the talents locally, because if we go back to Kebroy Benson, and what he did, he proved to us, he and his coach, his team at Calabar, proved to us that we can use local athletes, train them, nurture them, and have them, because he never lost to Rogers, who all the hype was around in 2017. I don't know if you remember back in 2017 when Rogers came to Jamaica and there was this hype around him, and he was defeated by Kevroy Benson in the 1500 meters. A year after, he was defeated in the 5000 meter by the same Kevroy Benson. And, people were saying, we have the talent, the raw talents here, but the question is, are the coaches patient? Are we patient as a country?
I mean, we kind of. I think we've been, you know, growing up through a microwave culture where we want it hot now, we want it right now, and I think, as you said, the patience is no longer there, the grooming is no longer there. Um, I must put on record that I think Vincent is or was Jamaica's best militant talent I've ever seen, along with Kemoy Campbell from Belfield. I thought was a great talent. Um, if you look at Natalia Gould, who's a professional athlete on the world stage, she came through the system at Manchester High School and is doing very well. So
Mm-hmm.
we do have persons here locally who, as long as I just think that what we need to do is just probably set up some militant camps in Jamaica, get some improvement on our coaching, probably get some persons into camps probably in different parts of the world, and improve our middle distance. But I don't think that, and again, I'm going to just say that I just think that we have very good militant coaches in Jamaica. And I don't think that just for the sake of points, this should be done, because I think these coaches can produce just as good or even better than what they are actually bringing in. I remember a race a couple of years ago where a young man from Calabar, Farquharson, ran 148, and another, I think I had about two or three boys below 150 in the race. It was a very fast race.
Mm-hmm.
There were no Africans in that race. So
True.
um, I just believe that let's not take away the excitement from sport. Back in the day, we had a guy named I think Sherwin Burgess and those boys and
Mm-hmm.
Kenway Levy who did excellent work with the middle distance, and I just believe that let us give our young boys the chance and young girls the chance to compete at champs in the middle distance that they probably so love. I think the talent is here. I think some of the boys who are in 400 are actually half milers and 1500 runners, and I think we should give them the chance and the patience to develop them.
Totally agree with you, sir. Totally, totally, totally. Earlier, you spoke about challenges. What are some of the challenges that you might be facing right now with the Calabar team, if you care to share? You don't have to give away everything.
Yeah, I rather not say, but I mean
Okay,
things have worked out. I mean, and I
good.
think things are going along smoothly now. I mean, my main focus is just getting the boys
Mm-hmm.
believing. It's one thing to be physically prepared, but the next thing is to be mentally prepared. And I think the coaches and myself are trying our best to along with our management team of persons, to get the boys just believing. And for me, and I've been trying to say to the boys, I mean, it's not about winning. It's about giving your best. I was brought up in a culture while I was at Wolmer's for all my life, where Wanta Agikwalage says, whatever you do, do to the best of your ability. And that's how I live my life today. And I believe that once you give your best, then nobody can ask for anything more. And I believe that the boys are really ready to give up their best come next week.
I think so too. Fans been bubbling all season. based on what they have seen, and they're hopeful and they're happy. And, we're just here, people like me, we're here to cheer on the different teams, the school, the championship, what the championship has become, especially since the merger in 1999. It has become a wonderful thing. A thing that people look forward to every year, travel from wherever. But dominance, Calabar's legacy is one of the richest in the country. Of course, producing the likes of Mr. Arthur Wint, Mr. Herb McKinley, Christopher Taylor, Maurice Smith, Maurice Wignall, so many of them. But how do you handle the pressure? How do you handle the pressure knowing that you have to keep this tradition going?
I mean, I've had some great coaches that would have led the way prior to my starting there 3 years ago. And I think they've done a great job in just setting the tone of what is expected at Calabar. Calabar has a rich tradition, as you said, in excellence, and not just on the track, but also in the classroom and just as young men. And I'm just here to try to carry that on. I spoke to a young man today, Jabari Williams, who is heavily academically inclined, and just reasoning with him, his answers were just above my head in just his answers. But I just think that we expect so much sometimes from the boys, and we expect them to be what we want them to be. I'm trying to be the buffer between what the fans expect and what Jamaica expects, and just they share a lot with me and their expectations, and a lot of them get really nervous now. I mean, a lot of them now start everybody feeling some pains here and there, and
Oh, wow.
a lot of nervousness. And I know the time is drawing nigh, and it's just that time, and I think as long as we can get them settled and get them comfortable and get them relaxed. But in this position, there's a lot of pressure. But I don't really entertain the pressure. I know what I want from this program. I know what I've seen from the program. I know what I've seen these boys transition to as young men. And that's what, keeps me going. I think that we're going to have some really good young men for Jamaica, and good young men competing next week at Champs. And, I dare you one day to just have a conversation with a few of them. And, I remember last year I gave Shaquin Gordon the captaincy, right? 2 days before Champs, and he just never wanted it. And actually was very emotional about just being the announced captain. And
Wow.
it pressured him. This year he has embraced it. And so I said, different young man now. And this is a young man who's not just about Shaquin Gordon. He's about the team. And that's as important to what
Yes,
we want.
mature.
A whole lot. And Shaquin wants to lead from the front. Shaquin wants to lead on the track and off the track. And Shaquin is so important to the legacy and the rich history of Calabar that now I see him really trying to guide the next generation of youngsters, which really means a lot to me and to Calabar. And I think that is what I would want to see from the program, from everybody else who's involved in the program.
Amazing, amazing. And that is what we want to see for Jamaica. But we're almost at the start line. How are you able to get them to relax, to psychologically stay focused? I heard that yoga helps.
I've never tried, but probably one day I will.
Yeah, I heard that yoga helps. But how are you able to get them to settle down and just relax and breathe?
Yeah, I mean, just take the pressure off. Don't speak too much about results. Um, Sometimes, I mean, just today and for the last couple of weeks, we just have some rap sessions. We try not to focus too much on the end result. We try to enjoy the moment, try to enjoy the next 5 days, come next week, and just try to live in the moment. I mean, there are too many times we regret not grasping the moment and just taking deep breaths. The team should, head to church on Sunday and hopefully be blessed by whatever the pastor has to say to them, and pray
Mhm.
for them, and just to kind of be relatively relaxed. I mean, we've kind of stopped training for now. So we know if we're going to meet, it's probably just some meetings and just light warm up and stuff like that. So we take the pressure from just trying to dot every I and cross every T. We'll never have a perfect championship, but I don't think anybody will.
Yeah.
Things will happen good and some things will happen bad. We have to just be prepared for both sides of the coin. And I believe that Calabar right now is in a good place to just enjoy themselves. I think that's what it's all about. They're young men and they're still to be enjoying the sport and not feel burdened by the sport. So, yeah, I think they're good. I think we have a good team of coaches who do an excellent job with the different boys around the team. And yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Do you think this boys champs team, do you think this championship will be close? Will it be a runaway? Many, including myself, were saying it might just go down to a 2009 where Kingston College won by a point and a half, 2017 where Calabar won by 3 points. Your thoughts on that? Any pressure? Because already
Yeah,
Calabar is being called for the title.
I don't know about that. I I I try to stay away from that, to be honest. I mean,
I
I just
know.
try to really just zoning on each boy and each event. And at the end of the day, once we are all comfortable that everybody gave their best, then we'll go with that. I think once we give our best, though, I think we'll definitely be competitive. But we try not to put any added pressure on the boys. I mean,
Mhm. Mhm.
social media is already pressuring.
Oh yes.
I
Yeah.
think the media itself, I think past students are pressuring enough. I think just their own classmates are pressuring enough.
Yeah.
So there's no more need for us to add any more pressure to them. I think the boys are, as we just said, them good. They're all right.
Very good.
I don't think we need to. So I think they're ready to compete, and I'm sure the other schools are healthy enough and ready to compete as well. And we hope that at the end of the day, we can all walk away and shake hands and
Yeah.
enjoy the rivalry that the sport was intended to have, just a rivalry. No ill feelings from anybody, and hopefully, the winners can be congratulated come Saturday night.
Indeed, indeed. There's this intense rivalry between Kingston College and Calabar. It has been around for ages. How do you think this will help the team going into championship Tuesday morning?
We don't.
Psychological,
We definitely don't focus on one team. Um, we'll be foolish to do that.
yes.
Um, we understand that there are so many very good opponents out there, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't get caught up in colors and locations of schools. We go there and expect everybody to be at their best. We want to be at our best, and we want to make sure that we leave everything on the track and in the field. Um, it's going to be a brand new track,
Oh
and
yes,
we hope to enjoy some performances on the track. Let's hope that we get some good performances on that track,
yes,
and I believe we will. I think you know at least 10% of Jamaica will be a champ based on a new track.
yes. I think this
So
new track will pull out some numbers.
yeah, I think it's going to be buzzing with some excitement. I mean, just by the look of it, it looks to be a very nice track, a very attractive track, a very gorgeous track, and I hope that the results will play along with how it looks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we don't get caught up with rivalries. Long before I got there, the rivalry existed, and long after I leave, it will exist.
Mm-hmm.
So
Indeed.
we tend to just keep the boys in perspective and understand that, hey, don't make this between you and Casey or you and JC or you and Jago or anybody like that. We try to stay in our lane, literally and figuratively, and just try to compete that
Stay
way.
stay focused.
Yeah,
Guys, if you're just joining us, of course, tonight is all about Calabar and Hydel with Coach Corey Bennett, the double agent. I call him. Of course, he's here sharing a little bit about his team tonight. And of course, we want to call out the fans, the alumni. Guys, they need your support. Please to throw your support around your team. But before we go any further, coach, someone has a question which I will ask in a little bit. But just want to say good night to everyone. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, Lloyd Clark, welcome. Monica Lewis, One Kino, my good friend, welcome, welcome. Track Hero is here. He's saying these Africans and Caribbean athletes want to come to the NCAA championship or scholarships. They're seeking scholarships, and our champs is maybe the avenue or the vehicle to get there. Lanford Lions, welcome, welcome back. It's been a while. Daniel England is also in the house. Etlin Tate, 1988 Olympian for Jamaica. Malcolm is also here. He said to ask you, before we get to his question, Simon, sorry, Webster is also here. He's saying, good night, HP and Coach Bennett. Will athletes from your school, Coach, be participating in Carifta 2025? So two people are asking, Malcolm and Simon is asking about your athletes for Carifta. And I think he's talking about the Hydel athletes. We did not see much of them at the Carifta trial. So we can start with that question.
If Heidel athletes will be participating?
At the Carifta games, right?
Well, I mean, the team hasn't been selected as yet. So when the team is selected and we find out who is there, then we will know if they'll be participating or not. But other than that, I don't know what the team is going to look like.
Okay.
So once the team is selected, then we will know if Heidel athletes will be there to compete.
Okay. Heidel is in the building. Yes, one of the newest school at Girls Champs, one of the newest school at Champs. But Coach Bennett, Heidel is the newest Champs school. How did the idea come about for you when you entered your first championship? I think it was 2010. How did the conversation started?
Wow. I mean, I remember being a part of the Wolmer's Boys setup up to about 2009, where I was involved with Manning Cup football and also track and field there. And I remember I got appointed to a position there that wasn't supported by some members of the Old Boys fraternity. That would rather remain nameless. I remember driving out that day from Hero Circle and kind of saying to myself, why not start your own thing? I was driving and was just kind of speaking to myself a lot to say.
Aren't you a Woolberry?
Yeah, when I was about 3.
Okay.
So, so that basically happened, and I remember saying, if I were just doing my own thing at Heidel, which at the time was in the private champs, I just thought that I would have more leverage without the disturbance of the past students and other persons' opinions like that. And so there's one private school who was entered at the time in Manning Cup, and we sent an application. It took a while to be processed, and yeah, that's how we got entered into Boys and Girls Champs. I mean, ironically, before that, we were entered in basketball, which was an open league thing at the time, and we were many time champions. And then we were told after winning it, I don't know what year it was, but it might have been like 2006. And we were told at the end of that season that we could enter the following year because we were a private school, even though we won the league. So a little back and forth, but then I just remember leaving Woolmer's that day and saying to myself, I'm going to start something small at Hydel, give some other persons the opportunity to start, and then we take it from there. I remember calling a good confidant of mine who ironically is one of my assistants at Calabar now, Coach Harley, and said to him, if you were to enter boys and girls champs, how would you, which one would you focus on? At the time, I think he was still at Wilmers. And he said, Corey, focus on the girls because this side of Jamaica doesn't really have a very heavy and strong girls program. And there are a lot of boys programs, and I agreed. I said, you're right. And that's hence me just kind of going the girls route a little bit more than I go the boy route. And as they would say, the rest is history. The rest is history.
Hydel is celebrating 15 years at CHAMPS this year. What does this mean for the institution and the community of Ferry? The accomplishment?
To us, who've been at Hydel for years, it means the world to us. I can't believe 15 years has passed already. It just seemed like yesterday we started in 2010 with 4 Class 4 girls. Samara Spencer, Amanda Carty, Tassana Carr, and one more. And I remember we came 11th in our first year.
Yes, you did.
4 Class 4 girls. And the thing was just to build those 4 sister girls all the way to Class 1 by adding Class 4 each year until we got up there. I remember in our third year at Champs, we came 5th, which was a big surprise. And the target for me that year was just to score 100 points. And at the time, we only had Class 4 and Class 3 girls. And we were able to amass over 100 points. And I remember Hubert Lawrence, may God rest his soul, saw me one day and said, Corey, you can score 100 points, which to me was just kind of ridiculous because we only had Class 4 and 3. And that was done, and it was achieved. And from then on, it has just been points targets for us. It's never been position targets. And we just want to challenge ourselves each time and see what comes from it. Yeah.
As the newest school on the block, I would say Hydel went straight to the top. 2014, Hydel finished third. 2015, Hydel finished second. 2016, Hydel finished second. 2017, Hydel finished second. 2018, Hydel finished second. 2019, Hydel finished second. 2021, Hydel finished third. 2022, Hydel finished second. 2023, Hydel became champion. 2024, Hydel finished second. This is a huge accomplishment for one of the youngest teams in Champs. What was your vision when you started out? I know that you said you had 4 Class 4 girls, but what was your real vision, Corey? Because this, to me, you and Hydel have been in the top 3 for 10 years, 10 consecutive years.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is that I thought we had a very good nursery system in our prep school, and I think we did very well at the interpreparatory school championships year in, year out. I think we won like 13 straight or 14, whatever it is. And our girls and boys were not transitioning the way we expected them to transition. So when we look at some girls who are actually much more talented than the ones that we've passed through, to be honest, just kind of just falling by the wayside. I remember saying to Richard Johnson, one of my assistants for years, that I think we can do better with some of these girls. I mean, these girls can actually be better than what we are seeing them do out there. I mean, we had a girl, Natasha, I don't remember that, Natalie Patterson, who I thought was the next best thing. and she just kind of she didn't even get a scholarship, and I just thought that we could do a lot better with these girls, and that was just our aim, to just transition them and do a lot better with them, and hopefully we can get them to college and to represent Jamaica at some point. And I think we've had some success with some of them.
You have produced quite a few versatile athletes. You convert athletes from their pet event to another event. We can talk about Onika McAnuff, we can talk about Alea Baker, we can talk about Brianna Liston, Natasha Fletcher. I now see doing sprinting. Abigail Campbell in the 800, Cheyenne Salmon, Ashanti Moore, Cherokee Young. You are one of the few coaches that I've seen done this and do it consistently. How were you able to identify these athletes and switch them to another event that has become one of their best events?
I don't know.
What's the skill? Where did you get the skill from, though?
My mother has taught me a lot. She was a teacher in the classroom and a headmistress for years at Wilmersburg, until she went into her development of Hydel. And I've learned a lot about just how to be patient, to teach the fundamentals, and watch it grow. And I remember when my mother first taught me fractions, and we just broke it down, numerator to denominator, and LCM and stuff like that. It's kind of how I view track and field, and sometimes when you break it down, you see something else in the athlete that probably wasn't initially seen. And sometimes we break them down to its lowest terms. If I'm going to use this a synonym to, or similar towards fractions, and when you break down these athletes, some of these athletes show so much more in something totally different that they think that they are good at. And I remember even at Calabar, the first time I looked at Nicoy Bramwell, and I didn't believe he was a very good starter. I thought he had very good speed and endurance. And I remember when I converted him from being a 1-2 sprinter into a 2-4 sprinter, I almost got crucified, But I became vilified when he broke Usain Bolt's record at character last year, and I think he's mostly known now as a quarter miler.
A quarter miler.
Yeah, and I think that he's going to be an extremely good quarter miler. But there are many persons. I mean, that we look at. We look at the running cadence, and we look at the attitude of the athlete. We also look at just how the athlete trains and what they can do repeatedly. What kind of rhythm they have in their running, what kind of rhythm do they have in exercising. And sometimes I think God has just blessed me with an eye just to see that, I think I got it from coaching football as well. So, yeah, I think I'm happy for that.
You were able to convert Alea Baker from a quarter hurdler to a sprinter, and she won the double sprint last year at CHAMPS. How did you know that she had it in her? Was it that you were
don't know. I mean, well,
was it
the
a
truth
chance
is,
you took? Because
no,
she would have been
it wasn't really a chance. I mean,
9 points at CHAMPS.
yeah, I mean, HP, Alia started off as a
jumper.
Yeah, I mean, when she just started track and field at Hydel, she did a high jump and a long jump, and she was pretty good at it. But she would all run on a relay team, and I think Alia has one of the best techniques sprinting wise that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I believe she just had some deficiencies, especially in the first part of her races.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we were just able to develop her first part of her race. It was never perfect, but I thought she became more efficient from 0 to 30. And therefore, I believe once she was able to be more efficient there, then she could hang with the bigger girls over the shorter distance. But Alia Breaker grew into the sport and grew to the event, and yeah, I think I wouldn't say it was a chance. I knew Alia had the ability to be converted, and she learns pretty quickly. And I thought that she did well last season for us.
Awesome, awesome. Most of your athletes, especially from Heidel, most of your top athletes, I've seen where they have left high school on a high, injury free, on a high, dominant. How are you able to do that? Because I've seen many athletes leaving high school and they're injured and stuff, but you managed to do the opposite where most of your top athletes, we're talking about the Karika Hill, we're talking about Alana Reed, Alea Baker, Brianna Liston, among others who have left high school on a high at their best. How were you able to keep them injury free?
I'm just watching the workload, you know, not trying to please John Public every time. And I remember when Brianna ran 11-1 at Central Champs in the heats, I told her that she was going to run fast that day, but she wasn't going to run the finals, and she couldn't figure it out. She couldn't understand. Um, so sometimes we have to protect them from themselves.
Yes.
And when they're ready to run too fast, you can't keep them running so fast too often. And so I just think it's just managing the athlete a little bit. Um, just know when to put in the work and when to test them on the track at a meet. So I think it's just kind of management of the athletes that we'll be able to kind of get a little better at. That has helped us to kind of keep the athlete healthier and fresher when it matters
When
most.
you hear the names of your athletes on the NCAA circuit, how do you feel? When you hear the name Onika Makanoff, when you hear Garrel White, among others, how do you feel?
Yeah, I mean,
Brianna Liston.
it always brings me back to where they started. To be honest, and the chance that we took with some of them. Um, I'm really not surprised, to be honest, because I know what they can do and what they've learned to do. These are all athletes with good work ethics, and these are athletes who will always remain humble to the sport. Um, these girls pretty much have to work hard for whatever they want, and I know that their work ethic will get them there. Very disciplined girls for the most part. Um, yeah, it warms my heart to see them continuing the sport and doing well. And when I don't see an athlete doing too well, I get concerned and I may make a call here or there. But it's really pleasing to see them stay connected, even with us at Heidel, and just really continue to shine. I mean, I must especially say big up to Sharika Christie, who took a chance on where I sent her, Wofford College, where my sons are at, and she got SoCon Athlete of the Year indoor, and she's doing pretty well. And I'm happy for her because she's a very shy personality who's blossoming into a giant in South Carolina. And I really, really am happy for all the athletes who continue to do well and trust the
Indeed,
process.
indeed, indeed. You had the Olympics is the ultimate as it relates to most sports. And I think it's 4 or 5 of your athletes made the Olympic team, the last Olympic team, Paris last year. Just tell us a little bit about your emotions when you realized that you had athletes on this team, not one, not two. I think you had about 4 or 5. You had Lamar Distin, you had Alana Reed, Cherokee Young was there, Cheyenne Saman. Just how did you feel?
Yeah,
Just
I mean, you know,
and they're
you know,
young.
yeah, I mean, Alana Reed could have run at champs last year, and she made the Olympic
Hmm.
team, and that was really was really proud of that achievement of her. But HP, I just continue to pray for these girls and hope that they continue to stay injury free. I've seen them go through some struggles, and see them come out on a better end of it. Um, and so just like any other school, and just for Jamaica's sake, I'm happy when I can relate to the persons who have transitioned. I remember right now I have a picture with from character days with Brenna Williams, Kevona Davis, and a couple others. The hurdler from I don't remember her name. From Veer, I don't remember her name. One of our top hurdlers, and these girls were in one picture. And I just remember just related to the story that these girls all started at the same place. Some just chose to be a little more consistent with their work and want a little more drive and a little passion for the sport. And it warms my heart really just to see where they're coming from and where they are now. And it's just a blessing to see them continue to do well.
Many schools rely on their alumni for funding, for sports team and stuff. Heidel, as we've said before, is one of the youngest school in terms of producing athletes and stuff. How do you manage to maintain a sustainable program where even though you don't have the alumni strength like other schools, but you're still able to maintain a sustainable program where you continue to produce some of the country's top athletes going into college, going into making national teams?
I mean, God has been good to
You have
us.
a money tree in your backyard.
Oh
So.
Lord, I mean, please come and find it for me because I don't know where it is. But God has really been good to us. Has been good in many ways, and even when we don't know where it's going to come from, it somehow appears. Um, we've had some persons close to the program, if I may say so myself. Even friends from Calabar has been really good to us at Heidel, and supported us in so many ways that we can't even imagine. Even just as something as simple as an ice bath, we get a lot of support from Calabar and just use of the track and just other support, that we get from the Calabar nation that we're so pleased with. But Mr. Dalton Bailey, who's a past student of very technical, is our manager, and he's just a gentle soul that, without him, his guidance and his support, financial and otherwise, I'm not so sure how we will be surviving. And so I just want to take the opportunity to big him up. Today I got a call from Garrel White, a past captain of ours, that she was able to get some support from our other past students in college and otherwise, to make a donation to the team, and we're really pleased and proud of that. I must say thanks to everybody out there who was able to contribute to just giving us some help towards CHAMPS. We really don't have much help, to be honest. So we just want to thank all the persons who were able to get a donation in for us.
Awesome. If the ferry community fans, the alumni should call you and said, Coach Bennett, what are some of the things that you need? What would be on that list?
You have time for the list? I mean, generally, I mean, we just really need financial support, to be honest. Because I guess from financial support, we're able to get more things. But we always have a need for nutrition, food. That plays a big part in just our program, and we were really lacking in that department. Even just to travel to meets, to get registered for meets. CHAMPS is coming up now, and we don't know where and how we're going to manage that, but we're going with faith. I think to rent a tent, for example, for 5 days, you may look at probably $150,000 thereabout. We don't know where the first dollar is.
For a tent, coach?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's roughly almost $30,000 a day. So
Wow.
it is. We just don't
Maybe
know
maybe
where.
maybe it's cheaper. Maybe it's easier to buy your own tent, have your tent
I
in your
think
storeroom.
that's a conversation that we've had, and we were trying to look at it.
How big
But
are
yeah,
these?
20 by 20 is what the average team
Okay.
would need. Some bigger teams need obviously bigger tents, but I think, and that's just one of the main things. I mean, even just rehydration. I mean, I've had to foot majority of these bills out of pocket, and again, thanks to thanks to Mr. Dalton Bailey, who's been a great strength of ours. So yeah, it's just really, you know, that's how we're able to deal with it. I mean, we've gotten some help from the Ideal Financing Company, just to help us with lunches and food and just maintenance, from month to month. But we just really think that we could get a lot more. We wrote a lot of letters. Most
I
time we
know,
don't
right?
answer. Most time we don't even a response. I'm
Yes.
sure you can relate to that, HP.
Hmm.
But we don't even get a response most times. And, it's kind of heartbreaking sometimes when you think that these girls genuinely and generally need the help, and we're not able to provide it for them. But we just go with faith. I remember saying to my manager the other day, yeah, he keeps saying to me, Corey, these girls are tough. Because sometimes it's a slice of pizza alone and can get at a trap meat. But you never know the way we compete, right? So we just
Indeed,
continue to,
indeed.
yeah, to just trust God and hope that He will one day supply our needs. Yeah,
So
at some
we're
point.
calling out to the communities. We're calling out to all the companies, the communities to reach out to Mr. Bennett, the Hydel Calabar team. The schools need your help, and Champs is coming up, and it is over 5 days. And I know that it is not going to be easy to feed teenagers. These are teenagers. They eat
Yeah,
plenty, especially the
they
boys.
do. They do. They do. Thankfully, on the boys' side, we were able to kind of kickstart a lunch program 3 days a week this year, thanks to the communities overseas, the New York chapter and those chapters for just really ensure that we're able to get this done. Um, and the community at Calabar has really rallied around the team behind manager Mr. Johan Shaw and his group. Um, and again, just my management group, Richard Crawford, David Miller, you know, Ainsworth Carroll, Franklin Rogers, and Donald Anderson has been a total strength, just really getting this thing on the ball and just keep this thing floating above water in so many ways that we're thankful. And I want to just go on here to say that we're really thankful for their help.
If how can you be reached if somebody is watching this interview and they want to donate? How can they reach you? Is there a phone number that they could
But yeah,
call?
I mean, yeah,
Please put it out there, sir. Yeah.
I've only had one number in my life. 876-386-4600 is my only number. Um, yeah,
Can
you
you
can reach
repeat
me at
it?
that.
1876.
876-386-4600. Um,
Okay, guys, you heard
yeah,
that number. If you want to donate, please donate. They need food, they need bedding, they need a tent. What, 20 by 20 you said?
yeah, 20 by 20 is what we
Yes,
asked
they
for.
need a tent. If you can donate a tent to the Hydel High School, they need hydration, they need water, they need electrolytes, they need toiletries, they need a lot of stuff. So, and guys, no donation is too small. You can reach out to Mr. Corey Bennett. You can just swing by the school, let them know that, hey, we have something here for the team. We want to leave a few cases of water, juice. It doesn't matter what it is. Money, please reach out. And remember, guys, Heidel won Girls Champs 2023. They are a champs champion. They have been in the top 10 they have been in the top 3 for the last 10 years. And they've had athletes just recently competing for Jamaica at the Olympic Games. So Mr. Bennett and his team, they are doing a pretty good job of securing and contributing to Jamaica track and field legacy. So let us help how we can help. Reach out to Mr. Bennett with your contribution, please. These young ladies and young men, they need it. They need it. Coach, 2 championship schools. I think you have the biggest job in the championship. Heidel and Calabar, 2 championship schools. When was the last time you checked your blood pressure?
I have to ask my wife,
Well,
But
How are
Yeah.
you able to stay so calm? You're just so calm. You're just so relaxed. How are you able to?
Um, I just, I try to just take some time out. Um, I try to just focus on the positives as best as I can. Um, I pray a lot, and I have good friends. I have good people around me,
Praying helps. Yeah,
that
prayer
ensure
helps.
that I am able to be relaxed and stay grounded. Yeah, I have a good support system. My sons keep me very relaxed. Zico and Zion. Whenever I get a chance to go visit them at school in South Carolina, I'm at my best when I travel with my wife and we go and get a chance to visit them. And yeah, I mean, I have a lot of adopted daughters and a whole heap of adopted sons now Earl's Road that keep me very calm and grounded. And seeing them happy makes me happy.
Indeed, indeed.
See them enjoy some joyful moments keep me relaxed and grounded. I like to see them achieve. That makes a world of a difference to me and my night's rest. So
Indeed.
I'm happy for that.
Very important. That's very important. Championship. Championship is in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4 days time. What are some of the treats? No pressure now, no pressure, but what are some of the treats that we can expect from Heidel and Calabar? Heidel fan base is it's growing. It is growing, of course, Calabar being one of the top schools also. What are some of the treats that we can expect? I know you don't want to give it away, but just hint us. You don't have to.
I mean, HP, the truth is that I don't even know. I'm just expecting that, whenever we get a chance to compete, I think we're going to provide some treat. 'Cause I mean, these girls are cranking it up. The boys are just about ready to bust it. So
I love it. I
yeah,
love
I
it.
mean, whatever happens at the end of the day, we must all be comfortable to say that we gave it our best. That's where we
Mm-hmm.
are, and I think we're going out there to have some fun and enjoy the moment. And for those who are in their last years, enjoy every single moment of this championship.
Yes.
Um, because there's nothing like champs. No matter where you go in college and otherwise, there's really nothing like champs. And yeah, I just believe that we're going to get some good showing from some of these girls and
New
definitely the
track,
boys already.
new track. The excitement is buzzing, not just the athletes,
Um,
but even fans. What is the conversation like in your camps as it relates to the new track? What are the athletes? Are they excited to?
yeah, I mean, we really haven't even spoken about it, to be honest. We've kind of been just kind of locked in, just trying to get into some work and
Okay.
stuff like that. I guess in our first meeting or two, we may speak about it, but it's really going to be just like I want to say any other marked track. Um, Obviously, there's going to be a lot of newness to it. You're going to see a lot of boys striding out on the track or girls because they want to get a good feel of the track, and hopefully, it will live up to the hype. I'm expecting that. And I heard, and I haven't really done much research. I heard that the top 8 times in the sprint will come back 1 week later, the Grand Slam. I'm not sure if that's true. So there's a lot to run for and a lot to
Yeah.
look forward to.
Yeah.
And I think that just being in newness, being on that track and christening that track, as Jamaicans would say,
Hmm.
would be a good thing for the public to see.
Calabar is going for their 29th. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be, I believe, it's going to be a good championship. I believe. I think.
Yeah.
I think various schools have various things that they're working towards. Um, you know, as you know, KC celebrating their 100th.
Hmm.
JC just changed head coaches, and Calabar has been out of it for a little bit. So I think we all have different reasons why we'd like to press on, but we need to be mindful that these are still young minds and young bodies, and be careful how much pressure that we put
Hmm.
on them for what we want to achieve. So we have to be mindful that these are youngsters, and they're going to need just some guiding and guidance throughout the couple of
Yes.
days, and expect that on every team out there, persons are going to perform below standard. How do you deal with that? Is a question. So I mean, we all want them to do well, but just understand that these are youngsters who mean well, and the pressure may be too much for some of them. So I'm hoping for good competition. I'm hoping that we all can stay competitive and healthy at the end of the day, and I'm really hoping that the team that is to win will win.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Heidel going for their second, number two.
I'm not even sure if we're going for the second. I mean, we just want to stay
I
competitive.
think so.
Um, I mean, these girls tend to surprise me every year. And I'm expecting some pleasant surprises this year.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
I think the girls are locked in, for the most part. I think we have a good support system from the manager to the assistant coaches, and I think that, yeah, I'm hoping everybody come with their A game,
I
because I
think
think it's
we're
going to be fireworks.
Yes, I think we're going to see that. But I got a phone call recently from the Mortimer Geddes Trophy, and he and she, they're saying that they haven't seen any clear winners. There are no runaway winners as yet. Your thoughts? That's what the Mortimer Geddes is saying. The Mortimer Geddes is trophy is confused. He's saying, I'm not sure where I'm going to go, and same for his wife. She's saying, I'm not sure where I'm going to go. Your thoughts?
Um, again, these
You
things are
think you
not
think
done.
they're right?
I,
Do you see a runaway winner on the boys or on the girls side?
I believe there are many schools ready to compete, and that will definitely make it less one-sided, so to speak.
True.
I believe that, and you we'll be foolish if we focus only on the schools that you'd have called. I mean,
Yes.
there's so many other schools who I expect to do so well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that I sometimes throw on my fan hat just to watch some of these events. So there's some races that and events that I think are going to be very good.
Yes.
When you look at Titchfield, a friend of mine, Coach Grant, works there, and he's doing an awesome job out there. And he has a kid who has a fast 800 time for the season. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, so I'm a fan of things like that. So um, it's just going to be just a blessing to be there to be able to be a part of that and watch that. You know, um, Coach McIntosh is a dear friend of mine from Green Island who I know has some great ones up his sleeves as well. So we do have some persons out there who expect to really
Yes.
make the champs exciting, and um, yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
raring to
We're
go
we're
and
going to.
watch
I
this
think
well.
we're going to be seeing some healthy clashes.
Yeah, it's not going to be amongst the big ones alone.
Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm eager to see what Shania Douglas will produce.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's an excellent athlete, and
Yes.
I'm excited to see what some of the throws. I think we have about three or so throws over 50 meters. So there's some events that will be very exciting to watch. Um, and I'm hoping
Indeed.
that the fans can come out and give
Yes.
healthy support to the
Mm-hmm.
persons who work hard to put on a show for them.
Indeed, indeed. And you spoke about Coach Grant at Titchfield. He should be
Uh,
here Saturday night to hype up his team also and tell us a little bit
yeah, he's
about
doing a good job. Doing a good job with
about his
that
team.
over
Yes, Titchfield is really coming back to the party we've seen school, because many might not know this, but Titchfield won a girls' champs a while back. So they're not new to this. They're not
there.
new to this.
I didn't even know that. So thanks
Yes,
for that
they
information. I didn't even know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, they are a chance winner themselves from the east, the school from the east. But coach, before we go, it was indeed a pleasure having you here. Just to unwind a bit, and I'm like the therapist for all of you guys. Just bring you here and we just talk a little bit and call out the support, the alumni, the community to come out and support, calling out the ferry community, the business community, come on out and support Heidel, the team in your community that is going for CHAMPS. Of course, Keen, I'm going to ask you to retype that number for us, please, so that anyone who wants to contribute to the Heidel program or the Calabar program can reach out to Coach Bennett and his team. But Coach, we're going to play a little game before we go. You're going to tell me something. We already know enough about Calabar. So you're going to tell me something about Heidel, and I'm going to tell you something about Heidel. So I'm going to allow you to go first. You're going to tell me something about Heidel, and then I am going to tell you something about Heidel. Let me see how well I know Heidel.
Oh, let me see how well I know Heidel. Heidel is located on the border of St. Catherine and St. Andrew.
Coach, me still have a problem with that, though, because I still think that Heidel is in Kingston.
You have to post a debate it and give you some facts.
Right,
But yeah,
I know.
yeah, I mean, I don't even know
So
where we
it's
are.
St. Catherine, right? It's St. Catherine.
Well, or I just it's Ferry St. Catherine.
Okay.
But yeah, I think we're at the border of St. Catherine and St. Andrew.
St. Andrew. Okay. All right. This is what I know about Heidel. This is my first point. Heidel School was founded September 1993. Is that correct?
I think it's 92.
It's 92. Okay.
It's 92.
Research says 1993.
I may be wrong, but I think I
September
believe it's 92.
15th, 1993. That's what I saw.
Okay, I can double check that.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, you can double check that. Okay, it's your turn again.
Heidel came from Hyacinth and Dolores. The founder's name is Hyacinth, and her middle name is Dolores. So you get Heidel.
Very interesting. This is why I like this game because I learn things. Okay, number two for me, Heidel School originally was located on Arden Road and then relocated to Ferry in 1995. Is that facts?
That's facts.
Awesome.
Um,
Now it's your turn, coach.
Heidel.
While you think about that, Coach Kina, can you please write the number without all of those additional characters, please and thanks. Go ahead, Coach.
The founder of Heidel, who is my mother, is one of 10 children born in St. Elizabeth, Giddy Hall, St. Elizabeth to be exact.
New information again. Okay. The school's motto is soaring on the wings of excellence. Is that true?
That is very true.
Wow. So
We're a co-ed school, and we were in the Manning Cup finals last year, 2024, 2023.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. All right. All right. My next one is of over 70 Jamaican schools that have produced Olympians, Heidel is on the top 10 list. I know this because I did the research.
Thanks for that, because I didn't know that.
Yes, they are out of 74 schools, they are on the top 10 list of schools that produce Olympians.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Heidel holds the record for the fastest 100 time and 20 time at champs.
Look at you, coach. Oh, wow. Look at you. And you are indeed correct about that. And people he's talking about Alana Reed in the 100 meters and Brianna Liston in the 200 meters. All righty. With that said, well, you just mentioned the last one I had where I have that Heidel School is in St. Catherine and not St. Andrew.
Correct.
Right, that
Based
was
on
last.
based on our address. Yeah.
Right, yeah, based on the address. So you will close the show. The last one from you, coach.
Let's keep it track and field. I
Yes, sir.
think we are, if I'm not mistaken, the only school with a world record at champs. Karika Hill in the world under 18 sprint hurdles, 12.71, I think. I may be
Wow.
wrong, but I think she's the only one who had a world record at champs.
A chance. Let me see. You could be right on that. Yeah.
I believe so.
12.71.
The world under 18 best. So yeah.
Yeah, 12.71. Yes, you're right. That's some good data. That's some good data you're putting out there, coach. Coach, if you were to coach another girls team, let's say you're not coaching Heidel, and you were to coach another girls team, which team? I'm putting you on the spot now. Which team would it be? I hope I don't get you in trouble with your friends.
Oh no, I mean, I literally have no idea. Um, but I've always thought of the challenge of coaching another team from scratch. Um, because I just like to build, and I think that there are many talents out there. Probably somewhere in the country I'd probably go where I can retire and be on my rocking chair with my stopwatch and whistle. But yeah, I really haven't given that any thought.
Any thoughts?
I'm very loyal to my daughters and my soldiers. And
Someone in the comment section is saying One Track World is saying you're to say Woolman's Girls.
I mean, I'm Wolmerian. I've always wanted to give back to Wolmer's. So, but they have a great coach in Mikey Carr, so you never
Michael
know.
Carr. Yes,
Michael Carr, yeah.
indeed they do. Okay, one Kino is asking you to set up your dream team 4x4 and 4x1 for champs. We don't want you to give it away, but he's asking you to
Hey,
set up your.
tell Keenan about it with that, man. What is it? You talking for this champs?
I think so.
For champs of all
He said four
champs.
champs. But I'll go one better because I don't want you to give away your team and your setup and all of that. The championship is coming. But I want you to set up your without us having a trials for the seniors. I want you to set up our women 4x1 team. A super 4x1 team without us having a trials for our senior women.
Assuming everybody's healthy, right? Assuming
Right,
everybody's
assuming
fast.
every right.
Um,
And I want you to put them on their respective leg also.
all right, so let me give you the four names first. Assuming everybody's in the
Yes.
best shape up to
Mm-hmm.
a year or two ago,
Yeah.
we're going to have a team with Shelly Ann Fraser, Elaine Thompson here, Sharika Jackson, and you really cannot leave off Tia Clayton, right? If I were to go with just based on times. Um, yeah,
That's a good team.
I think for me, Shelly starts, and I'm going to go with Sharika on the back stretch to run the longest leg, I believe. I think after Shelly and Sharika, it's over, you know. And I believe I could go to Tia on the third and let Elaine take it home, or Elaine on the third and Tia takes it home.
That's a very,
Yeah.
very good lineup. That's a very good lineup. And you said something very important. After those first two legs, Jamaica should not lose that really.
No, I mean, I'm not so sure how we lose in these relays, to be honest. I
Because of
think
the
we have,
setup coach, let us just call it what
I,
it is. We're
I
the
don't know.
setup.
I just think we have too much foot speed to be losing these races.
I don't
Um,
know if it's the foot speed coach or we're not putting people where they serve us best.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I think that Sharika should not have to wait on the button too much. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that getting her in the mix early with the amount of speed she possesses as a 200-meter runner should be
Mm-hmm.
utilized a little earlier in the 4x1. And I think, after a fit Shelley and a Sharika, it's over.
Yeah. And I like the first setup where you said from Shelly to Sharika to Tia on the curve and then give to an explosive Elaine on the ankle leg. That should be very interesting.
That would be
That's a
a
very
dream team.
yeah, that's a dream team. That's now I want you to set up the men without a trial. Who would be the four men?
Well, you need the big dog from MVP, Kishane Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go with Akeem Blake.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely go with Seville.
Mm-hmm.
The
Who would
fourth
get
one.
that fourth spot?
I don't
Ding,
know.
ding, ding, ding.
I don't know. I don't know. Um,
I think I would put, based on form, I think I would put Julian Ford, give Julian Ford that
yeah,
fourth spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Julian is a good guy.
Hmm.
But there's a kid who won national trials 2 seasons ago from MVP. I'm not sure what shape he's in.
Rohan,
Um,
Rohan Watson.
Watson. Yeah, I'm not so sure what
Hmm.
shape he's in.
Yeah,
But
he's coming back. He's coming back this season.
yeah, and that would be good to see. But you know, I'm just a stickler for getting it out early.
Hmm.
And I would definitely go front loaded. I definitely go Akeem Blake to Kishane. I'd love to see Kishane really chase that backstretch. And again, if I go to Seville, it's lights out.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody else comes with.
And then to Julian Ford.
Yeah, whoever can
Hmm.
take it over. But
Yeah,
I think
that's
the
not
work
a
would have
bad.
been done.
Yeah.
With all those you know very very fast sub 10 boys at the
Yeah.
first 3 legs. It should be a done deal. You know, but hey,
I like that. I like that. I like that setup. I really do like that setup. Now, the next one I wanted to give us is the women's 4x4.
4x4. Wow. Um, so the person will be Nikisha Price is one. Um, Forgive me if I'm hitting blanks this time of year in the
No,
season.
you're fine. But you know
Yeah,
what I want to ask you, Coach? I want to
yeah.
ask you a very important question. When you are setting up, I've seen you set up some real good relay teams at Champs and at the Gibson Relay. When you're setting up your 4x4 team, who do you start with in terms of ranking or how they're ranked in the event? Or in terms of the better quarter, do you start with your better quarter miler? Do you give them the second leg? Do you start with your slowest person? Because I've seen you set up some super teams.
There's really no set way to set it up.
No set way. Okay.
Just comes on to the athlete and the person to the athlete and what we think they can do best at the moment. I mean, because their times will change around quickly. So there's really no set way to set up a team.
Interesting. Some people would say you put your best quarter miler on the second leg. I'm not sure why. I'm not.
I'm not
But
sure why they would say that either, so
yeah,
I don't
but
know.
it's very interesting that you said there is no set way, to set up a 4x4 for team. Heron Barkley is saying Hakeem Blake has to start. I totally agree with you. And Coach did say Hakeem Blake would start his 4x1. Uh, Somebody's saying that they would put, Chris Wayne is saying they would put Buwaji on that relay team. They also call the name of Rohan Watson. Very interesting. Very interesting. I would even throw in young Daly on that team if he's in good form.
Which daily is that?
DeAndre Daly
Oh,
from,
DeAndre.
yeah,
Yeah,
Herbert.
again, everything's going to come down to how they do in the season, and
Yeah,
hopefully everybody
true.
will be healthy.
Hmm.
And then we're really wishing him good health. Boaz is a young talent who I really wish will be ready again this season. He's a
Hmm.
young man I have a lot of time for, and I think he is extremely good talent at the
Hmm.
senior level.
Indeed. Coach, when you look back, and this is us wrapping up shortly, when you look back at what we've produced over the years with our boys, our girls in champs, and how they have transitioned or matriculate into greatness, what are your thoughts as a coach, as a Jamaican, as one of the contributors? What are your thoughts on our legacy?
Yeah, I mean it's in a good place. It's where I think it needs to be. I think the persons who have continued to organize this protocol champs um, has a lot of value in their hands, and has a lot of stake into what happens in the future. Um,
Indeed.
it is not to be taken lightly and taken for granted. And I think as a Jamaican and a pro Jamaican, we need to do what it takes to protect brand Jamaica through our championships. Um, it's going to bring me back to the starting point where I believe that brand Jamaica or champs is should represent brand Jamaica, the best that we have to offer. And I think that once we continue to protect it and have regulations and rules to guide the protection of the athlete, then I believe it will be in good hands with that. But it's always good to see persons that you've watched go through the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Usain Bolt come through the ranks, and I just remember his 400-meter race against Gonzalez and his 200-meter record at champs, and the Christie. I've watched so many come through and just do excellent work and service to the country. That it just pleases me when they do well, and it also somewhat hurts me when such talent kind of fall by the wayside. You always wonder where they now, and I think sometimes just making the wrong choice or
Mm-hmm.
choices can result in some bad results. So
But how do we help them though, coach? How do we help them to make the right decision? Is it our job to help them to make the right decision, or it is up to them once they leave high school?
I mean, I believe in transitioning the athlete to the next level. I believe whether it is college, whether it is pro, I just believe that it is our job to expose them to what exists out there. Um, I mean, God knows at Heidel we've tried and at Calabar we've tried. Sometimes these girls and these boys make some incorrect decisions,
True, true.
um, and must never be led by what looks pretty and what seems to be financially beneficial now. I just believe that sometimes they make the wrong decisions, and some of them might just be very well paying for those decisions. I think patience is critical,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and I think not because you're fast now means you're going to be fast later. I
True.
think patience is really critical, and just trusting the process is even more critical. Some of these persons who are making some very ill-timed decisions.
Totally agree with you. Dim Murray is saying that Heidel team 2018 was never gonna get beaten no matter how it was set up. And they're talking about Cherokee Young, Onika Makanoff, Garl White, and Cheyenne Salmon. That that team was a super team. But I also
Yeah.
like 2022 team when you throw in Brianna Liston. That was just brilliant.
Yeah, she's a talented young lady.
Yes, she is. She is.
I really wish we could see some of that at the next level, but
Mm-hmm.
she's a talented young lady, and I think she's going to be doing some super things this season.
Yes, yes. I can't wait. I can't wait. Dim Murray saying, no, Nars is saying, Blake to Thompson to Seville. To me, can't lose. Okay. Who is me? Is that an athlete? I feel like that is one of our athletes. Miss Vilma Charlton is saying, all the very best to you and your team, Coach Bennett. It will be another great championship this year. And that's coming from,
Thanks to Vilma. Vilma is
yes,
somebody I have a lot of time for. She's a
yes.
former Olympian and somebody who I have a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
respect and regard for. Thanks,
Yeah,
Vilma. I appreciate that.
another Olympian for Jamaica, three-time Olympian, 1964, 1968, and 1972. Indeed, indeed. Heron Barkley is saying DeAndre Daly is going to be a superstar. He has so much self-confidence and he's not afraid of the competition. Just look at his confidence, especially in the 4x1. I totally agree with you, and the list goes on. Coach Bennett, I'm going to let you go and get your rest because it's been hectic, and I'm sure it's going to get even worse over the next few days. So, Coach, thank you very much for being here and all the best to you and both your teams going after championship. What a championship it would be if and you know what that means. So I'll just leave I'll just leave it right there.
Oh
What a
Lord, um,
championship it would be. That's my
I won't,
dream for you though. That's my wish.
I won't
But I'll
comment,
leave
but
it there. Yeah,
yeah.
we won't tell them what we're talking about, but I'll just leave it right there. But that's my wish for you. That's my wish for you.
HP, thanks for having me. I appreciate it once again.
Anytime.
And your continued support, even off air, is appreciated. Let me just put it in there and say that. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're
Thanks for the
welcome.
listeners for joining us
Yes.
tonight, and just we could share with them and enjoy their company as well.
Yes, sir. All the best to you and your team. And of course, we will be cheering on those electrifying performances. Thank you very much, Coach Bennett. And we will see you in the stands.
I don't think you guys see me in the stands, but you'll see me at stadium at some point. But
I'm
thanks a
sure.
lot,
I'm sure.
HP.
Yes,
Good to see you. Good to see you again, and hope to see you in person come next week.
indeed, sir. Indeed, indeed, indeed.
All right.
Have a good
Take
night.
care. All right. You
Okay.
too.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, that was Mr. Head coach for Calabar and Hydel, two of the schools that are vying for championship. And of course, they have been there. They've won the championship already. So they are going after, Calabar is going after 29 and Hydel is going after number 2. Let us cheer them on. Monday night we had Fortis. Fortis was in the house. Tonight is Calabar and Heidel. And of course, Saturday night, I've never done a Saturday night show, but Saturday night I should be back here with Titchfield, the school on the hill in Portland. Of course, it is CHAMPS, so we have to make time for the schools and their coaches and their team to come out and rally around them, rally support and all of that. So guys, thank you very much for being here. And I think World Indoors should be going on just now. I don't know if anyone can give me some updates, but I'm going to try and find it to watch a little bit. Of course, Team Jamaica is at the World Indoor Championship, and I just want to send some love to all our athletes, every one of them out there supporting us. And of course, champs, boys and girls champs, will be next week, starting next week, Tuesday, March 29th, and run until starting March 25th, next week Tuesday, and run until March 29th, which is next week Saturday. And guys, it will be electrifying. New track, new energy, new, and I'm sure everyone looking forward to it. And of course, I'm looking to see the times. And I call CHAMPS the Jamaica Track and Field Factory. That's where we produced our athletes. So CHAMPS is Jamaica Track and Field Factory, and of course, I'm sure we all are looking forward to it. So I should be back here Saturday night, as I said before, showing some love. Let us come back here to show some love to Titchfield High School, former winners of girls champs themselves. Yes, so guys, have a good night. Have a great weekend. And remember to come back Saturday night, okay? Remember to come back. Thank you all for being here. Kino, One Track Hero, Bonnie M, DJ Ali Nars, Monica Lewis, Chris Wayne, Heron Barkley, Vilma Charlton, Dorothy Scott was here, Dim Murray, Heron Barkley, everyone who turned out tonight. Marlene Green was also here. JJR was also here. Thank you all for being here. And also thanks to my youngest fan, Josiah. I'm sure he was watching earlier. Maybe he's asleep now. But guys, thank you for being here. And I will see you Saturday night. Yes, I should be back here. And also, I saw Unseen Sports TV was also here. So guys, have a great night. And I will see you guys Saturday night. Okay? Have a good night.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple, to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business. Jamaica. One people, one legacy.